Hey there. Welcome, civilians. You've arrived at the home of civilized and thought-provoking commentary. Get ready for elevation, growth, and experience. I am the civilized woman.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome to the first Sunday of the new year. This is your girl, Civilized Woman. Welcome, civilians. Y'all, I was on a cruise last week with the Palace, Queen Shiba's platform. We had a ball. When I tell you I had this content written up since before I left, and I thought I would be able to record it on the ship and get it out to y'all last week. I tried and tried and tried. The Wi-Fi on the cruise was not the best. That's probably the only downside, but it was a wonderful time. So you're getting ready to hear Love and Marriage Huntsville review, season 9, episode 9, open house, closed mouths. Y'all, I know it's late, but I'm still gonna give it to y'all anyway because y'all haven't heard my view on it. So hopefully y'all check it out and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Welcome back, civilians. I hope y'all are doing well. Listen, I am cruising with the Palace right now, and so this video is probably gonna be a little different. I wrote my notes on this on Saturday's episode on Sunday, but child, I had so much going on. My first flight was canceled. I literally had to go directly to the airport in order for me to be able to reschedule. So I'm gonna try to get this uploaded. I'm sorry if it's gonna be all over the place. I try to group them, so but it is what it is. I definitely want to be able to get that out to y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope your week is going well. Just started the week. I'm hanging there. It should be a lighter week because we're still in the holiday season, the holiday flow. So without further ado, honestly, I think I missed what this episode is called, but it really should be called Meow 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 Meow, not Meow 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 Meow, because at every turn, all you hear is them talking about Mel. Even in situations that her name should not be brought up in, they're still talking about her. So, here we go. Ken and Trisha. Trisha don't want to marry you, sir. She don't want to marry you. Now, according to what I heard on the Gossip Girls Live on Saturday before they went to their Patreon to review the episode, is that apparently Trisha was in the military, and if she divorces Marquez, she have to give him half her pension. And that may be the reason why she don't want to divorce him. She keeps saying, people are asking, did you sign it? Did you sign the paper? Did you file it? And she keeps saying no. Like, it never made sense to me why this was such a hard process in this country where you can divorce for any reason. But that right there, where I heard off their channel, makes a lot of sense, that she don't want to give up that pension, and which further enlightens for me that she don't want to marry Ken, because if she really wanted to marry him, it would be worth her going through divorcing Marquez so she is able to move on with Ken. So I don't know what she's doing then if she does not want to marry Ken. What are they doing? And I'm gonna keep saying it because it don't make no sense to me. What's in it for Ken? Something is not clean in the buttermilk, as far as I'm concerned. So that made a lot of sense. Maurice. Ciao. So y'all, Maurice goes over to Martel's house because y'all know how they do. They got to try and handle Martel, right? Because they need him not to talk and blow up their spot. So Maurice, Marcel did what he did on the front end, so now Maurice got to come in on the back end and make sure that them and good old Marty are still cool. So he starts to talk about what happened at the park and how they can, y'all always do this, y'all argue and then y'all get back cool, etc., etc. Then, y'all know Martel's never wrong. He's always wronged. He's always a victim. So they're talking. Martel expresses how he feels about the whole thing, and saying that it's a long shot as to whether or not they'll be cool. In the background in some of the confessionals, Maurice thinks that it's because Martel don't like to see the fact that Scope, which has part of his name in it, is going on without him being a part. That may factor, but minorly, in my opinion. And the reason why I think it's a minor factor is because I think in Martel's mind, he feels like he's better than them. He's better than Marcel. He is the reason why Marcel has the opportunity that he has. So for Marcel to be doing better than him in anything, I think grinds his gears. So from that aspect of it could play a small role, but I think overall it's just that I'm better than this dude. I'm better looking than him. I'm in better shape than he is. My wife was finer than his. All of these things. So it's like he feels that Marcel is beneath him, and how dare Marcel thinks now that he's better than him to try and even talk to him like that, like how he is. So Martel's ego is bruised. And feels like Martel feels like he exposed Marcel and them to a better life, and so he feel a way about it. So Maurice, of course, is trying to cover up to make sure that Martel don't spray him. According to Martel, y'all know he always says he don't ever fall out with anybody. Now, if you're a person and you have trouble being to self-reflect and being able to see your error in things, you're never going to improve. You're never going to move forward, because you're always going to be in a perpetual state of victimhood. And Martel feels like this. I don't know why he feels like this benefits him. I kind of know why. I'm not no license, nobody to be trying to diagnose him or anything, but we all think that he's a narc just based on the traits that he's exhibited. And so they never see their wrongdoing in anything. So he don't ever fall out with anybody. If anything happens between him and somebody, they did something to him. Now, mind you, he cheated on Melody. She gave him a bunch of chances. He still screwed it up, and she finally walked away. But let him tell it, that's her fault that they fell out, because he don't ever do anything wrong. I'm like, Maurice, I see you. So at some point, because now we got to soften old Marty up, Maurice brings up Mel. I'm like, there should be no reason for Mel to have been brought up in this any shape, form, or fashion, because you over there to talk to Martel about what went on between him and Marcel. But you see, whenever they in order to soften Martel, you bring up Mel, and then make the conversation favorable in his favor against Mel. Now you'll hear these people say, oh, we get so tired about talking about Mel Martel, we want to talk about something else. Lies they tell. They don't want to talk about anything else. They want to keep linking Martel and Mel together. These people have not been together for years. What they're going through a tumultuous with child custody and all of that. They are not connected in any way, shape, or form outside of what they have to be as parents for their children. So why do you keep linking Martel's behavior to Mel? That's no longer her problem. If y'all are dealing with him, whatever y'all dealing with him, that's on y'all. And that's why they too are reaping what they sow. Because all of them, they had no problems being on Martel's side when it was against Melody. And now he's giving them that same heat. And they also want to try to get Mel on their side, or try to act like it's just out of nowhere. No, you're reaping what you sow, because you were a part of trying to take this woman down. And this evil apply against her, and now he's giving you the medicine, because ultimately Martel don't care about nobody but himself. Everybody is a means to an end, and the moment you're no longer a means to an end, he's going to turn on you. And that's why if you're dealing with him, the reason why he quote unquote don't fall out with anybody, because he pretty much blackmail people to be friends with him, because he hold things over their head. That's not real friendship. If people can't genuinely express to you how they're feeling without being concerned that you're going to spray them in some type of way. So of course he brings up Mel, and he like they usually do. Y'all know Maurice Luther King Jr. had to resurrect, even though he ain't got no business talking the way he talks, because how he lives and the words that come out of his mouth do not match at all. So he's talking about how Mel, is being judgmental, and how he missed the old Mel. This Mel is the old Mel was sweet. This Mel is like harsh or whatever. I'm like, no, what you miss is you miss having access to that lady's resources. You miss that y'all would do some mess up stuff to her and she would forget it, let it go, and still help y'all out. And she's no longer doing that. Y'all miss still having access to her, regardless of the messed up stuff you did to her. And that's no longer the case. That's what you miss, because really, she's actually better off now than she was when she was fooling with y'all. And she's definitely better off than when she was married to Martel. She's far exceeded anything that they did together by herself. So what you're talking about, Mel is hurt, it's like, child, like, cut it out. And it's just like, y'all can no longer use her, so just build a bridge and get over. Mel is not, I'm like, Mel is not hurt, Maurice. Like, hurt people. She's not hurt. She's just see y'all for y'all works, and she's over it. Then, Trisha and Kimmy. So Trisha goes to see Kimmy because she wants to, her and Ken talked earlier in the episode. She wants to now leave her engineering job and go and be a full-time personal trainer, and she wants to open her own business. So she goes to talk to Kimmy about entrepreneurship and, and potentially renting a commercial space. So they have a little good conversation. Kimmy gives her perspective on entrepreneurship and all of that and what that's like. And then, of course, without fail, that conversation should have ended there. Without fail, again, Mel name comes up, because she's telling Trisha how she went and talked to Mel, and now Mel wants to be mum about, what she had said to everybody else. Mel was clear, and that's that on that. So why are we still talking about it in this episode? Then, child, the bomb. So at some point, because y'all know Trisha is never straight when it comes to like what went down between her and Martel. Even he's not straight. There's always some kind of different twist when they talk about how they met each other and how they interact with each other and what went down. So Trisha, apparently, she says that her and Chris is like her mama's cousin or something, that Chris was the one that hooked them up. And Kimmy is like, say what now? That's surprising, because Chris and his wife are supposed to be friendly or friends, especially the relationship they had with Mel and Martel. So why would Chris be doing that? So Trish was still married. They're not clear on it, but I'm pretty sure Martel, in my opinion, was still married, just based on the evasive nature of Trisha when she's trying to answer questions, when she's asked about that whole situation. They probably were both very married. Then Martel and his therapist come to his house. Ma'am, you needed to wear a different dress, because you had to play with that top and put it together too many times for me. You either needed to wear another outfit, or you needed to make sure you had a pin on that thing before you went over there. That man needs actual therapy, so he don't need any distraction. Now, I don't think your intention was to necessarily appeal to him in that way, but it was very distracting to see you keep having to, play with your top in order for you to get to where y'all need to go to. So they start to talk. She starts to ask Martel about, his goals and stuff. This fool says, well, with all the stuff I have to do with my kids, I don't really have the time to, set any goals for myself or do anything. I'm like, no, his goal is to ruin his ex-wife's life. That's his number one and primary goal. And whatever it is he wants to do with that, that's whatever he wants to do. That aside, let me interject this, because I wanted to do a video about the video that Ariane released with her son, with Martel hitting Sugar Mama, aka Milani, Mel and Martel's last child. Now, I will say this. Madison County, please free Martel Holt of his parental duties. Please. Because there is no way, he's not that dense, nor is Ariana. And she wouldn't have been crazy enough to do nothing like that without his say-so or his no-so. So honestly, at this point, I think he is trying to do whatever to force those people to release those kids from him. He would not willingly, his ego won't let him do that, and his need to be the victim won't let him do what is in the best interest of his children and have them be with their mother. So he needs to be a victim. So like, this has gone long enough. The fact that he hasn't done this, like, there's just so many things that they have ordered Martel to do that he did not do, and yet he still has the ability to he still is able to see these kids. The access he has to them is insane. So please, Huntsville, Alabama, Madison County, please free Martel of his parental duties. So she rightfully calls him out on this because he doesn't take any accountability. I'm like, Mel is doing the heavy lifting when it comes to parenting those kids, financially, emotionally, and otherwise. What are you doing that is keeping you from, if you have actual goals, to see after them? You don't. Again, your goal is to ruin her life, and you do all these different things to figure out how that is possible. Because if you were actually trying to be for real goal oriented, you would do a lot more than what you're doing now. So I appreciated that she called him out on using the kids as an excuse. And it's not just in the case of him being able to accomplish his goals, but just honestly, he used them as an excuse in general. Again, Martel uses people as everything and everybody, including his children, are a means to an end. It's all transactional. So those kids are the only way that he's supposed to be able to have access to Mel. With the fool-la-la he did, and they had to put that no contact order, he don't have the level of access to her that he did. So basically, these kids are burdens to him at this point. They're burden to him. But again, he won't relinquish his rights because he needs to be a victim. And he's in his ego. And she's talking about he needs to pray. And he's like, yeah, I don't pray. I'm like, ma'am, I don't think you mean P-R-A-Y. You definitely mean P-R-E-Y or P-L-O-T. So he either praying as in P-R-E-Y or he's plotting. He ain't P-R-A-Y. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing that pray. He's doing the other kind of pray. Because if he was doing the proper pray, he would be a lot better off than where he is right now. So they go to Martel has a little open house on this property that he's working on or whatever. Now need to see, Martel revving up again. Translation: Martel, please get something going for yourself so you don't take the time to expose us. So they're all excited. Kimmy is real happy for him. They're all happy for him because now he's finally getting something going. Because our idle hand is the devil's playground, and Martel is far more idle than he is active. So y'all, not Ken and Martel twinning with the same shirt on. Did y'all see that Ken and Martel had the same shirt on? I was like, okay then. They talk about Marquez a little bit. I do agree. I do find Marquez to be highly immature, and he reminds me of Ray J. I've said this before, and this is why he reminds me of Ray J. He reminds me of Ray J because I feel like Ray J's mama and them coddled him because they gave Brandy so much attention. I feel like Marquez is the kind of man who was coddled by his mother, and so he just does not show up as a man the way he needs to. Now, I've been meaning to go and see Millie Chan's interview with him because I just need to get a better sense of him. But what we've seen so far on the show, just an insane lack of maturity and a little bit thrown off, if I'm being quite frank about that. So Martel is hearing Ken kind of vent about the whole thing with Marquez, and then he's talking about some going through hell with his ex. I'm like, Mel put you through hell, Martel? Mel put you through hell? Are you sure it's not the other way around? So Martel is advising, that maybe Marquez is still in love with Trisha, and Ken needs to really get out the way. Not gonna hold you. I lightly agree with that assessment from Martel. Now, obviously, it was heavy with his own projecting his own situation on that, but I don't disagree with him. Ken really do need to get out the way. He really do need to, he need to get out the way. Point being is, for once in all the years that Martel has been on our screen, he actually said something that I actually agree with. Ken do need to get out the way. Now, Nell calls it because, at the point, the women are on the inside. So she finds out about the fact that Chris is the one that introduced Trisha and Trisha and Martel, excuse me. So she's calling him up because she's like, I done heard this. You need to come in here and clear this up. So Chris goes in there and she repeats it. And y'all, the line ensues because nobody's on the same page. At first, Martel's trying to act coy. He don't really want to say nothing because he kind of don't want to blow up Chris's spot, because I guess Chris hasn't done anything to him lately where he needs to put him out there, but he still does. So according to Trisha, she says, Martel told her that Chris said, yeah, there's this real fine girl at the gym. Her body's this, her body that. You need to, get with her. And so that's how they got connected. Chris explains it. Then Chris says, no, I was talking to Martel. And then he said, are there any fine girls at the gym? And he's like, it's a gym. There are fine girls there. And then Martel said, hook me up with one. And that's how that happened. I'm like, sir, Mr. Fletcher, Mr. Mentor, either way, you were the catalyst for these two people connecting. Both these people were married at the time you were connecting them. So I don't know. Your story is plausible based on Martel being Martel. But as a married man, why would you be trying to hook up your married friend with somebody else who's married? And even if Martel was not married at the time, Trisha is married. So why are you trying to set up somebody else's wife with someone else? So either way, it ain't clean. Nothing's clean in that buttermilk. And then they do a flashback of Chris, because Ken mentioned that, every time they talk about this, there's definitely a line because it's always a different story. So they do a flashback about the first time of Martel and Chris explaining how, they met and vice versa. And it just was an entire mess. And that's where that ends. And then, they always do like the preview of the next episode. Mel lets Maurice know that he ruined his own rep because he's talking about some, Mel, you ruined my rep. And she let him know, no, sir, you did that on your own. And I definitely agree with her. Like, she was not the one that put you in the situation that you were in to get the charges or whatever it was that you got. So hold the L and leave that lady be about blaming her on it. So that's all I got from that episode. Again, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm literally on a cruise. And I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures and I'm gonna post it so y'all can see. And I'll probably do a little bit of a story time of some of everything that transpired, even before getting on the boat, even before getting on the plane to get on the boat. So y'all be good. We get back on Saturday night. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to see the episode because I typically don't see it on the same day that they release it. Because I see on the internet, I don't even have the own app. But anyway, y'all, enjoy y'all week. I don't know if I'm going to come back with anything else, but I definitely will have more content when I am off the boat and back home. Until next time.
Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.